What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news show. Because Chiellini spoke. He spoke yesterday, but I kind of skipped that because I wanted to wait, and there was some column one news, obviously, which is more important to talk about, I guess. But it's the first time Chiellini really spoke about the club, and how we operate as a new club, how we want to deal with things as a new club, how we want to grow as a new club, how we want to improve stuff and get better and all those things. So before we get into it, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, because he said things that are very obvious, but they're not proved. There's no proof out there that they actually want to do that or are committing towards doing that, So we opened this speech, the interview, by saying that with a strong foundation you can get back to winning, which is very, very normal to say. It's very logical, because we talk about the management is not good enough and this is not good enough and the management is absent and it's all over the place and etc. He also said, the entire structure of the club will be done by October, November, basically. Then we will have a full structure in place, being that a sporting director, being that a financial director, I don't know. Everything will be in place by October, November, basically, which, is interesting, because right now everybody's waiting for a sporting director, but the sporting director is definitely not coming. That's very obvious right now. So that's the thing he talked about. And we all want a strong management. We want security, We haven't had that. Management came, got sacked. Netfed, Paratici, Elkan, then Cherubini left, and he came in, and then Giuntoli came in, and Giuntoli is out. It's been all over the place, and that is the sign of, well, failure. Like, it's as simple as that. If you change management every single season, you're just failing. That's why you're changing it every single season as well. He said the group, basically, is the goal for this group is to grow, and in order to win, again, and open a new cycle. He said the work structure will be completed in autumn. He said, if I look at the past, we have the most Scudettos, and if we look at the second team, they're far off, which is a fact. And then he said, well, they're far off because their down years are much longer than our down years, and that sounds fair statistically, and that he has a good point in there. But what happened in the past, you cannot just base it on the past, because in the past we were winning and we're not winning right now, so you need to build, like, it's good to look at it and say, if you look at the past, cycles come and go, and that's normal in football, and our cycles usually come faster than an Inter cycle or a Milan cycle, and that's also very fair to say. But if you look at the past as well, when we won, we had strong management. So he acknowledged that, which is good. We acknowledge that we have had a poor management the last couple of seasons. So we acknowledge that, and that I do appreciate. I can really appreciate that he acknowledged that fact. But now it's time to build. And we have so many questions, We have so many question marks when it comes to that. He spoke about Comoli. He said he's very attentive to data. And I know everybody will cringe right now when I say data. He said because he believes in numbers. Working with him is good. This isn't a single person job. Everybody at Juve collaborates together. It's not one person making the same decision, the only decision. Then he went on saying, actually, I don't really make decisions when it comes to transfer. So I'm like, Then he went on saying, actually, everybody makes that decisions, And when Agnelli was in charge, he also told people, you do this, you do that, you do that. Fair. But when Agnelli was in charge, I think we all feel we have more competent people in places. Right now, it's all, who's Comoli? What is Chiellini going to do? What is Modeste going to do? And when you look at the current transfer window, it's like nobody's really in charge and nobody actually wants to win. Because if you look at it, there's no proof that we want to win. That's what fans probably are more upset about. Then he went back to Tudor, and that's the most important thing I want to talk about, because he said Tudor is fantastic, and I have no issue with him, backing Tudor, because, well, you chose him right now to lead the new cycle or lead the new team or whatever. So you need to back him. You cannot come out right now and say, let's see what Tudor will do. No, you gave him a new deal. Now you need to come out and you need to back him. There's no choice. He said he brought a winning mentality to the team, or like a strong mentality to the team. The players bought into it, etc., etc. That's good, but you need quality on the pitch. We cannot rely on he convinced the players to play for Juve again. Like that cannot be a thing. We need quality on the pitch, and that goes with adding more quality and also coaching. You know, it goes hand in hand. Then he went to the Club World Cup, and that's something that scared the hell out of me because he said, "Well, actually, we did well at the Club World Cup," and I was like, "Okay." He said we play well. That City game was a one-off game, maybe because of fatigue, but because against Real Madrid we showed that we actually can compete. I'm like, and then he said maybe if we were a bit more lucky. Dot dot dot. I'm like, no no no. Against Real Madrid we were not lucky. You know, we didn't finish the chances we had in the first half. Fine. In the second half we got peppered. Real Madrid had quality on the bench, and this is not even one of the best Real Madrids out there. When they have quality players, as a team, they're not looking fantastic, or as they should. Let me put it that way. They peppered us in the second half because they had quality off the bench, and they threw out quality on quality. In the second half, I don't think we had a shot on target. He said if we were a bit more lucky, if Di Gregorio wasn't there in the second half against Real Madrid, we would have conceded 5, like against Man City. Like, you cannot put that on luck. You cannot look at that game and be like, if we were a bit more lucky, we'll have a fantastic season if we just, scored our chances. No, 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 no. Because in the second half, we had nothing. When fatigue kicked in, we had no quality on the bench. The quality on the pitch dipped. When we made those subs, it got worse and worse and worse. And now you read reports of, well, Rugani can stay, Kostic can stay, Diallo can stay. I'm like, these are awful players. We moved out these players for a reason. Rugani went out on loan and was bad. Diallo went out on loan and was rubbish. Kostic went out on loan and wasn't fantastic for Fenerbahce. And now you're telling me we need to keep these players, and you're expecting to build a strong foundation. You're expecting us to compete, etc. That's madness. When you talk about if we were a bit more lucky, no, it's nothing to do with luck. We added players like those, Kostic and all these players on the pitch against Real Madrid, and the quality dipped. And they were bringing on quality players, and their quality went up. Where when our quality went down, how are you putting that towards luck? That goes towards quality, and then it goes to coaching, because he was putting Kostic in weird positions. Even when I don't rate Kostic, you're just not helping him when playing him out of position as well. So that is a worrying sign when they talk about luck and keeping Rugani and maybe giving Diallo another shot. I'm like, no, 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 this ain't it at all. So good, all good, building a strong foundation, but that ain't it. That is a very worrying sign in my opinion. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think about those comments. What do you think about the situation at the club, and do you think they are the right people in place to build a winning foundation? Let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Ciao.